morning, hello, and hi to everybody jumping into this week's Fiberific Live Craft and Chat, where we craft and chat live. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, all that kind of jazz. I'm having some technical issues on this end. So scene switching is going to be a little bit different. Well, for me, hopefully you guys won't notice a difference at all. It's one of those things where I didn't look for updates this week and there was a glitch and the two softwares aren't playing together. So yeah, that's going to be my life today. I need to fix that, but not right now. I am like buzzing with like anticipation and excitement because I got notification that something that I've been waiting for is arriving today. And it's silly. Well, it's not silly, but I've been looking forward to it. So it's some band merch for a band that I love to listen to. And yeah, so I'm getting a new hat and a new shirt, and like I've got my fingers so crossed that the shirt fits, because they're in the US. It's a real pain to send it back. I don't think I actually could send it back, to be honest. I'm not sure if there's a returns policy. But it's also the one that like there's a possibility of winning an additional prize, and I really, really, really want to win the prize. Sally says, I could hardly hear you, but then I realized it was my volume and it was turned down. So check that as well. Like if you can't hear me, maybe double check your volume too, because I got the little green things going on here. So that's super awesome. So huge welcome to everybody in the chat. So it is definitely exciting stuff. Has the golden pick been found yet? Not yet. And yesterday I nearly didn't want to watch their socials because I think I would have just been devastated. So you find out if you win the extra prize by your parcel will have a golden pick in it. But I saw what the golden pick looked like because there was two prizes. So I've seen the other prize being given away. And it's actually enormous. It's this huge thing. So I thought it was just going to be some little, find it in the bottom of your bag kind of thing. But no, it's this quite large thing. You can't miss it. If you win, you definitely know you've won. But no, if it has been found, it hasn't been put on the radio company's socials. So if I hear the dog go off, I'm going to keep checking for the courier. I'm sorry. I'm just too buzzed and I'm too excited. And I really, really, really want to find out. So if it does come, I'll open it up here with all of us. Okay, so we'll see. Ruth Young, we have been so worried about you. Ruth was in last week. Ruth let us know that part of her roof got taken off in the hurricane. It's not a cyclone over there, it's in a hurricane. So she's right now, I have a tarp on my roof waiting for them to get the power and the water back on. My bedroom is soaked. Ceiling has been held up by the ceiling fan. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. But I am so glad to hear that you're okay. Like having your home trashed is horrid, and it is not awesome, but it is awesome that you are okay. Yeah. So, and this weekend I decided to do something that I don't normally do, which was I actually had the entire long weekend off. I only checked socials just a little bit. I just checked my emails sort of more to monitor them than to reply to them, just to make sure nothing scary or bad had happened. So I actually had Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off because Monday was a public holiday here in Queensland. So I had a long weekend. Now I just sat around at home, not doing much of anything, but I did work on my queen a little. So we are now up to the last row of this color, which is exciting. I was kind of hoping to be like, oh, look, I started a new color, but I didn't get that far. But I did I don't know, 6 rows or something, like 5 or 6 rows. So I'm pretty happy that I got that done between streams, which was really cool. Because you guys all know I basically only work on this project when I'm in the live streams at the moment. And it's going to take 11 million more years if I keep that up. So I've really got to just knuckle down and just get in and do more like between the live streams. But I'm doing other stuff, you guys. I'm doing other stuff. Oh, Ruth's saying now to get the massive cleanup and trying to get my yarn that got wet dry. Oh my gosh, that is frustrating. Oh, so just checking the chat here. There's so many channel members. It's kind of cool. Like it's absolutely cool seeing like the sea of green. You guys are amazing. Yeah, John, I have to keep reminding myself it's a hurricane in the US, cyclone in Australia. So, like I tried, I don't usually translate the different things between the countries, mostly because I forget. Um, or, sometimes I do if I'm having a dig, but not if it's just, it's just stuff. But yeah, the hurricane versus cyclone. I've really got to remember that. So huge thank you to those of you, especially not in Queensland, who are making it into the live chat. After last week's poll, because I was going to like change when I streamed to try and make it more convenient for everybody, but after last week's poll and everyone was like, just you do you, boo. So I was just like, fine, that's what I'm going to do. So the stream's starting an hour later for our southern neighbors. So those of you that are kicking in at 11, it's still 10 for me. So yeah, so that's awesome. And I'm really happy that YouTube does the whole local time thing. So you can just check once it's been scheduled, you can just check when it's going to start on your end. And I know that daylight savings is going to change in the US soon as well. So that will also be different things. Ruth says they're basically the same thing, just different oceans. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. John says not in Queensland. Yes, not in Queensland. Those of you in Queensland, it's all systems go as usual. Nothing new to see here. All the same time, everything is the same. Hey, Teresa, welcome to the chat. Molly says it's 10:30 for South Australia. Yes. Yeah. It is definitely definitely some interesting things because yeah, the cyclones and the hurricanes thing, there are some other differences other than just hemispheres. But yeah, it is definitely I just have to remember it. So because you guys name your hurricanes and we name our cyclones. Does anyone know what our next cyclone is going to be called? They normally have a list up so that you know what the next one's going to be called. We've got some like not fun weather happening in Queensland as well. It's not. I mean, I'm doing okay where I am. Down south, it's getting a bit more of a hammering. But yeah, I'm just not looking forward to another wet summer. Honestly, we still haven't been able to get someone to fix our roof yet, so we still have leaks. So that's like, it's so not fun, honestly. It's like, oh, look, it's raining. Let's stick some buckets around, or let's hope it doesn't rain too hard. And, the problem that we had last year comes up again. But yeah. So I was about to like, let's drop it to the other camera. So I can do that, but I've got to do something else first. Okay, here we go. All right, into the other camera. So let's have a look where I'm up to in the pattern. So this is the last row of this seashell pink that I'm working on right now. So that's pretty exciting, at least for me anyway. So, moving on, I've like to the point where I've actually already pulled out the next color. Like I think I will get to it today. So I've already pulled out the next color. Is the color really blown out for you guys? Should I fix that? It's probably a bit bright. Let me just, I was using this light for a different job and it's probably just a dash on the bright side for this job. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So we've got the light pink versus the sort of apricot-y seashell-y color. The light pink is very blown out. Ruth says, I'm close to the equator. I don't know how far. I'm not close to the equator, I don't think. The equator and I are just acquaintances. Sorry. I had to throw it in there. Let me just move the chart over. Minutes. So I've found out that Amazon Prime makes it so I can get some extra channels, which is cool. If I was in the US, I'd be able to get the Hallmark movie now, but not in Australia. I'm like, come on, I want Hallmark. But yeah, no Hallmark for me. Let me look here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm just checking the pattern here. Oh, this will be a nice easy row. No, you're like 3 times closer to California than you are to the equator. But yeah, so, but I can get, like, Acorn TV apparently, which has got some pretty fun, like, mystery style shows on it, so I'm tempted to try out the free trial. I'm tempted. Sally's been restarted watching Supernatural on Amazon Prime. Did you start from episode 1? Like, it's really weird, I know these guys are all, like, they're all sort of my age, and but watching them back, it's nearly 20 years ago, so the show ran for 15 seasons, and I think it's been done now for 2 years. So it's, like, 17 years ago, so they're like little kids, and just watching them grow up on screen is kinda weird. But yeah, like when you binge watch and you can get through a season in like a week, you're like, wow, they grew up fast. Um, but yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. And I was looking at I wanted to restart Doctor Who and I was looking for which streaming service had season one. And I realized like the iView has all of the old seasons and there was like 25 seasons. I'm a pretty decent Doctor Who fan and I had no idea there was that many old seasons. Like, I knew who the doctors were, I just didn't realize how many years each of them had done. So, yeah, that was crazy. That was a little bit of a smack up the side of the head. And then there's other shows that you think, "Oh, I love that show. I've watched so much of it. There's gotta be like a million seasons," and there's like 1 or 2 seasons, like MASH. I think MASH only ran for a couple of seasons, but I swear I watched it, like, every night for years. But it must have just been, like, the same pool of episodes over and over again without realizing it. Um Saw the Daredevil Easter egg in the She-Hulk and then had to start watching Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil's pretty good. Like, I loved the Daredevil and Jessica Jones that were on, Netflix. They were great. I'm really hoping I know there'll be differences, and that's okay, and I'm, like, 100% okay with that, and even though they got, like, the exact same actor, which I think is awesome because he did such a fantastic Daredevil, um that, yeah, I know there'll be differences, I just hope it's not horrible. Oh, wait, Mel says there was 11 seasons of MASH. What am I thinking of then? There was something that was like 3 seasons, and I thought there was like 11 million seasons. I can't remember. 11 seasons, holy crap. Yeah. Well, that could be why I watched it for years on end without realizing I was watching dupes. Tali says the 2021-22 Cyclone season, we had Patty, Ruby, Seth, Tiffany, Vernon, Anika, Billy, and Charlotte. Huh. So went we jumped from V to A. That's odd. Don't we have any XYZ names or WXYZs? MASH went longer for the war it was actually based on. Okay, so what was it then? What am I thinking of? Something that went for a short amount of time that felt like it went forever. I can't even think now. I was convinced it was MASH. But yeah, I remember seeing box sets of MASH and they were huge. I don't know what I was thinking. Um, it could be Faulty Towers. That was one that was amazing and fun that I felt like went forever, but it only got like 1 or 2 seasons, didn't it? I don't know. So, yeah, I haven't started watching She-Hulk yet, so no spoilers for me, pretty please. I've not been in the frame to watch new things. I've been rewatching old stuff. I actually dug out Babylon 5 DVDs. Like, I was like, over the weekend, I watched like nearly the entire first season, which, it doesn't sound a lot, but like back in the day, a season was 22 episodes. It wasn't 6. Um, and so, yeah, but like having to schlep all the way to the TV to change the discs in the PlayStation, I'm just like, what is this? What is this insanity? Ah, it's all good, Holly. It's all good. Oh, Faulty Towers only had 12 episodes. I mean, they were pretty risque for their time. Like, you think about it. I'm surprised they got that. I'm surprised they got picked up, honestly. Um, so yeah, that is insane. Oh, Jackie says 6 episodes for Faulty Towers. Leslie says 12. Whatever it was short. It was so short. It's like a current season of something. Um, my high school girlfriend named her first daughter Delenn. I think Delenn's a beautiful name. There's talk of a reboot. Well, not a reboot, but a new series of Babylon 5. They're going to do it based off different characters, but at the same time. So, I'm thinking kind of lower decks kind of thing, like, the team and staff that you don't normally get to hear from rather than command level. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it happens. Like CW has not exactly had a good run this year with canceling awesome shows and stupid tax write-off crap that I hate. Um, so yeah, it is just a bit crazy. Oh, there we go. Google solved the problem, Kerry, didn't it? Google says 12. Yeah. Game Widows is popping in while the bread finishes baking before heading out to craft group. Awesome. I hope you have an awesome time with actual humanings. So yesterday I actually humaned. I went and had my exercise physiologist appointment. And oh my gosh, I'm a bit sore today. I'm a little bit sore. Last night I could barely move. It was so funny. And I went to get out of a chair that was like, how some couches you sort of sit where your legs are like straight so it's easy to push out. Well, this one was just a little bit, like the hip lever was a little bit lower center of gravity. And I'm trying to get out of this chair, and Tim's just laughing at me, and I'm like, "Stop laughing at me while I'm laughing." Um, it was all muscular, nothing, nothing like, evil. And I was sort of laid down for a little while, like early to bed kind of thing, but staying awake reading. And then I had to jump up, but and I was just like, okay, no jumping up. I kind of had to do this roll and stumble out of bed thing again. Tim laughing at me. The dog just looking at me like, what is wrong with you? And I just laughed all the way to the bathroom. I was like, oh, this is going to be hard. This tonight will be hard. And I was like, if I feel like this today, tomorrow is going to just be the worst. But I actually woke up feeling a bit better today, so that's good. Which is weird, but good, and I'll take it. Um, so yeah, it was one of those funny moments. I think you had to be there kind of thing, but it was very funny. What happened is, like he knew that I hadn't had a chance to really get into the gym much, so he was expecting me to have really gone backwards from the last time that we saw each other, which was like 2 months ago. So he was really expecting it to be like, okay, come on, we'll get this sorted. And except while I hadn't been going to the gym, I was still working out at home. So, because I didn't want to go backwards. So I'd just been doing some things, just nothing too crazy, but just enough I wanted to try and stay where I was. And like I just didn't want to go backwards. So I was happy to stay at the same level. Anyway, so I'd just been doing, some little things at home. And so we've done this one exercise. He was like, oh, we need to put a bit more weight on that. You've definitely increased your ability there. And I was just like, okay, all right, let's do that. And then he was like, let's try something that we haven't tried yet. And so he was setting up this strapping stuff he's got a big bar thing that's attached to the wall. It's super secure. So I can it's got weights and stuff on it. I don't know what anything's called. I just use it. Anyway, so he set this strap up and he was like, okay, what I want you to do is this. And basically it was a lunge, but, holding onto a thing so that if you couldn't get yourself back up, you could pull yourself back up, because this guy specializes in exercise with injuries. And so, he just wanted to see how far down I could go before there was pain, because he was like, the second you feel anything, I want you to pull back up. I was like, righto, righto. So, because I had no idea what he was going to be getting me to do. So I've done what he's told me to. And I'm like, so lunges. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I can do lunges. And he was just like, wait, what? I never told you to do lunges. When did you start doing lunges? And I'm like a month ago, just at home in the kitchen, just while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil. I do everything in the kitchen while I wait for the kettle to boil, because the benches are really close. So if I fall over or something, I can grab onto something and not fall on the ground. Right? That's my logic. Anyway, so he was like, so how many can you do? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I think I'd normally do about 10. he was just so happy and so excited. I was like, "Okay, give me 10." Except he's like, "Here you go," and like puts weights in your hand as well. So you've got to do like 10 with weights in your hands and stuff. I don't do weights at home, not very often. And my weights are like half kilo. So he laughed when I told him that. Anyway, so but he's added into our like we do these little like a little mini circuit of new exercises to try, and he's added it into that. So instead of doing like 10, I was doing 10 on each leg for 3 reps. So my legs were just like, we hate you. Why did you mention that you knew how to do them? So last night my legs were just that little bit so, and I did some other cool fun exercises yesterday too, which was really fun. Um, so what else? I don't know what anything's called. So there was something called there was a rack lift, which is like a deadlift, except the weight bar's up a bit higher, so you're not getting it off the ground. Um, we were just learning how to do those. So they were just like empty bar, like 10 kilos. And then I couldn't really get the knack of that properly, so he put me back into they've got this thing where you stand in it so that the weights are actually, centered rather than ahead of you. So I could barely do 10 kilos of a rack lift, but I could do 40 with the other one. So I don't know. I've just gotta practice and get better at it. But, and then there was other things. So there was like we went through 5 different things. I can't remember that. Anyway, lots of repeats of all the things, and, yeah, it was or repetitions, sorry, not repeats. My brain's gone back to craft. And so, yeah, my legs and my arms are all just a bit like, "Hey, hey, no sitting for too long, no standing for too long." Oh, that was the other thing. I finished the workout, jumped in the car, had to go and get Abby from school, except I was running a bit early, so I was, like, waiting in the car. Finally get home, and I tried to get out of the car, and Abby's just I nearly fell out because I went to step out and step up, like because it's just a little car, so I went to push up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm staying down here." So I sent him a message, and I was just like, "Hey, my legs hate you." And he's laughed. He's like, "Oh, if they hate me today, they're really gonna hate me tomorrow." But yeah, so that was my day yesterday. I know, not thrilling and exciting for everybody else, but it was pretty darn interesting for me. Um, I've just realized that I have Top Chat on. So if you are watching the live stream, don't forget to check that you're in live chat, not Top Chat, because otherwise YouTube decides which order you see things in, and they may not actually show you all the comments, which is I don't even understand it. I don't understand it at all, but apparently there's a thing, and yeah. Jackie says, "Good girl." Thanks, Jackie. Every little bit does count. Absolutely it does. It all counts. Um, jelly legs. Yes. Well, I mean, they're kind of yesterday they were more jelly legs. Today they're just achy, stiff legs. Um, hey, Freaky, welcome to the chat. We're nearly at the end of this row. This is the last row of this color. Oh my gosh. I hope I haven't screwed it up and have to pull it back. Oh, Sally, you're a champion. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I shared the live to the Facebook group. I realized like I was about to go to bed last night. I'm like, oh no, I haven't scheduled the live. So I had to sort of like come in here and turn on the computer. It was like, oh, typing is hurting my arms. I was so worried about how I was going to go today. It was like I did not think that out. Basically because I've never felt this muscle sore after any of the other workouts we've done. But he was just so happy that I hadn't gone backwards. So he was just like, "Oh, hang on." And he's like, "Right, we're going to do some different things." He's like, "I'm not going to waste our time with the stuff that you've already done because you kept going." And so it's like, okay. So he was just so excited. He does these little dances. It kind of cracks me up to the point where I was like, I can't focus and do this properly if I'm laughing at you, right? He's like, "Sorry, I'm just so excited that this is working." I'm like, okay, kind of why I'm here. I'm kind of expecting it to work, right? Tally says I've been gardening and my muscles are like, nope. Gosh, National Guard has been giving our ERM. I don't know what ERM is. Oh, giving out ERM. I don't know what ERM is, but water, ice, and tubs. Oh, that's awesome. We have So we don't have I don't think we have National Guard here, but we do have SES, which is State Emergency Services. So they come out whenever there's this sort of stuff going on, and they come around and tarp up people's roofs in the middle of storms and stuff like that. Like if you've got a big problem, you can call them. I don't know what REM is either, unless it's like, the band or a kind of sleeping. Jackie says, don't forget to join the fun zone. Absolutely. Oh, emergency ration meals. Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. I appreciate you telling me. Speaking of cool space stuff, SpaceX just launched a rocket from California and it was all fogged in. If you want to see something awesome, check out the launch in the fog. Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I do follow their channel. So I saw that something happened, but I didn't see what it was. Oh, okay. So our Army Reserve is the equivalent of the National Guard. All right. Okay. Cool. That's good to know as well. Beginner knitter question. Making practice knit pearl squares. Should I count my cast on row as one? I don't. Cast on is cast on. But this could be controversial. I would love to hear what everybody else in the chat says. Because when you're working a pattern, you normally have a cast on and then row one. So that's how I see it. Kathy says, I'm going to physical therapy for my knee and found out part of my issue is my hip. Yes, it's insane when you start realizing that it is different parts of your body, or actually you think it's being caused by one thing, but you realize it's actually just a flow-on effect from a different problem. Absolutely. Jen Homewood does not count the cast on row. Sally does not count the cast on row. Ah, wow. Hey, Russell, welcome to the chat. He said 4 astronauts left Cape Canaveral at noon today. I watched it from my front yard. Oh my gosh. That would be insane. That would be so awesome to watch. Yeah, everyone's saying cast on is not counted as your first row. Cool. That's encouraging for me as well. I just thought it was one of the things I had an opinion on. So it's nice when, everyone agrees with me. Like, you can't complain about that. Gosh. Oh, we're nearly at the end of this row and it's the last row of this color. I'm so excited. Chintamani, welcome, welcome. Currently plying on my gem. I only have 3 bobbins. I think I need to just ply on my joy with the jumbo bobbins. You could also grab a jumbo bobbin and flyer for your gem as well. I mean, that's what I do. I've got my my wildflyer I use for that, and a jumbo bobbin. There we go. Chintamani, Caffeinated Crafters is on tonight. Just for those of you that are local, Caffeinated Crafters is on tonight. I've still got to get some stuff finished for it, but all systems I go. I will hobble my way there. I probably won't walk around much, but I will be there. Where are we? I put the toddler to sleep. Well, I have magical powers. How do I do that? I'd like to know because I struggled. Like I was no good at getting Abby to sleep when she was a baby. So much exciting stuff going on. Oh, here we go. We're nearly at the end. Woo, see you tonight. Okay. And I'm going to the cricket tomorrow night. I've just found out today, which is kind of exciting. It's just a T20 Big Smash. So, or Big Bash. Big Bash, not Big Smash. I mean, they do big smashes to get the big bashes. Google has been like trying to search for things I say all the time at the moment, and it's really getting on my nerves. Is that the old or the new mic? It's the new mic. It's the new one. Oh, I don't know, Jackie. It's Australia versus West Indies. That's all I can tell you. I am not going to wear a KFC bucket on my head. I don't like seriously. Abby probably will. She'll probably be like, Tim, buy me a KFC bucket, and he will probably do it because he would think it's funny. Yes. I don't know which one. It's World Cup. Thanks, Jackie. I'm glad you know. I'm just going. Tim was like, hey, I don't suppose you want to come to the cricket with me. None of my usual cricket friends want to come. I'm like, when is it? And he told me, and I was like, yeah, I can go. But I'm gonna have to like public transport and be near humans. I'm gonna mask up. Seriously. I do not want to risk getting sick. And even if it's just a cold, I don't want to risk getting a cold either. Oh, big bashes between the states. Oh, thank you, Sally. Yes. Oh, John, I don't even know. This is embarrassing to say. Okay, I don't know how it started, but for some reason, when you buy the big bucket of chicken, they will actually give you a clean bucket now, which is good. But people would actually just turn it upside down and wear it on their head like a hat for the cricket. And I don't understand how it became a thing. It just did. Kind of like the cup snakes, probably. It just became a thing, and now it happens, and it happens so often to the point that KFC actually will give you buckets that are clean that have never had chicken in them. Can you imagine putting one of those buckets on your head that had chicken in it? Like, ew, yuck. I'm not up for that. Okay, let me just 1, 2, 3 that, then 2. Oh, did it start as a KFC ad? Your whole country just sounds like frat parties. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it just started as a KFC ad. Wow. And it's just didn't stop. It just didn't stop. Proving once again people are weird. Yes. Yeah, now the buckets are colored for your states, so that's cool. Oh yeah, watermelons is the other one, like hollowed out watermelon and you just wear the skins. I've seen that one. I like, you know what? I wear a hat. I understand you want something on your head. Sure, wear a hat. Anyway, it probably started from someone who didn't have a hat on, and all his mates were like, "You're gonna get burnt. You've got to put something on your head." I was like, "Fine. I have this watermelon husk." It's very weird. Oh, Jackie says I actually think people did it before KFC, but they picked it up and used it for the ad. See, I think that as well, Jackie. I think I'd been seeing it a long time before I saw the ad, and KFC were just like, "Okay, let's just, grab the bull by the horns on this one and take it. If it fits on your head, it's a hat." I think that's pretty well the logic here. I just finished that color. So, you know. Yay! All right, we are on to, I think it's the third last color. It is. Like, we're about to start this pink, and then it's the light pink, the dark pink, and the purple, and we're done. Is this much more of the blanket to go? I'll bring that over. There you go. It's kind of can't be any worse than the Wisconsin cheese heads. Oh my gosh. Do they really wear cheese on their head? Like legit cheese or just foam cheese? Mm. Coffee was cold. Yay. I'm just going to move that cup out of the way. There you go. That can sit up there. I have tea, which I shall pour now, even though I don't want any quite yet, because it'll be hot. It's been in my tea thermos. Oh, it's steaming out. I don't know if you can see that. It's steaming out of there. Okay. I'll let that cool down before we try and drink it. Burn my face off. Squeaky chair is squeaky, everybody. All right, we're on to the purple. I just need to change the chart here. Oh, the hats resemble cheese. Okay. So they don't like legit wear a wheel of cheese on their head because that would just be disgusting. I mean, that could be nearly as bad as wearing a chicken bucket on your head, right? I saw one of my scouts walking around the camp with a metal mixing bowl on their head like a hat. I pretended they weren't part of my group. Yeah, yeah. I could see that logic. That's yeah, whose kid is that? They need to be spoken to about not using the mixing bowl as a hat. Um it's yeah, sports is weird. Like I'm just going to put like people like pick on cosplayers because it's just crazy who would cosplay. I love cosplayers and I think cosplaying is awesome and fun, but I think sports people, like people who follow sports are weird with all the crazy stuff that they will do. So, yeah. In saying that, I'm actually going to the cricket, so I'll enjoy that for what it is. Hopefully. Hopefully I'll enjoy it. That's the plan, right? John has a strong opinion. Auto racing is the only sport, everything else is just a game. That sounds like it could possibly be the slogan for auto sports. Like I can just picture seeing that somewhere. So, yeah. I just need to double check, but I think it's just 1 and 1 all the way across now. Yeah, I think John would like Bathurst if he's into auto racing. I think John could possibly be persuaded to enjoy Bathurst, maybe. Depends on what kind of auto racing he's into. Because there's Bathurst touring cars. I don't know. I don't know much about cars. We have a bit of auto racing here in Australia. Probably different to what yeah, there'd be some differences. Like there'd be some different options. So yeah, you might like it, you might not like it, whatever. Um a bit more variety than turn left, then turn left again, and then turn left again. Turn left some more. Turn left again. We're still turning left. Don't turn right, turn left. The other left. Oh, Bathurst is this weekend. Oh, wow. I wonder if John could stream some of it somewhere. Oh, John knows Bathurst. Okay, there we go. John knows Bathurst. Awesome. That's cool. Angela says, I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, and every May is crazy with the Indy 500. I can imagine. That'd kind of be like what Bathurst goes through. NASCAR, they turn right now as well. Yeah. With the little chicanes. Paching. But yeah, I don't watch. I used to watch a lot of motorbike racing. I don't anymore. That was 20 years ago, and 20 years ago I used to watch all the cricket as well. I don't really watch that much cricket now. I've got other things to do than spend 5 days watching one game. But I've been to the cricket before. I don't mind going to the cricket. I think a lot of these events, even if you're not into the sport itself, when you go to something live, the whole feel of it live is different than when it's on television. So, yeah. There's some things that are better about it being on TV, like you don't get sunburnt, hopefully. So that's pretty cool. And sometimes you can see the shots better, which is also good. So, yeah, very funny, freaky. Very funny. Ruth says, my store for Goodwill is closed until the power can be restored, so the company is asking if team members can help cover in other areas. I work tomorrow at the nearest ADC, which happens to be 8 minutes. Nice. Yeah, go for the atmosphere. That's exactly right, Sally. Yep. Um, I might go to the cricket if I was in town for a match, but I'm probably not going to watch it on TV. Yeah, and I think that's the difference. Like, especially some of these sort of T20 games. I've not been to a T20 game. I've been to a one-day international and then to also one day of a test match, which is like a 4 or 5 day match. And they were fun. But I think the T20 it's a much faster paced game. So, um, John, I think she's talking about when you had your fake account. I thought it was your brother, not your missus, but anyway. Um, Knitspin Girl says, I've been to the F1 in Melbourne. It was incredibly loud and I had no idea what was going on. Gosh, wow. It is. Yeah. I went to a AFL game and I went with some friends who had season passes and they had to explain everything to me and I felt like such an idiot because I had no idea what was going on. I enjoyed it and the atmosphere was fantastic. I just had no idea what was happening. Because I don't really watch much sports ball. Watching a football, like soccer match in person is so much fun. I watch it on TV, but I prefer it live. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think there's certain things that are better on TV, certain things that are better live. And I think sporting, it's to have that whole atmosphere happening as well. Like, I mean, I don't like having to, deal with like the public toilet issue. I don't like public toilets. Um, but other than that, and public transport. I also don't like public transport. I don't like public. Anything with public in front of it. Um, so yeah, it's hard for me because I'm like, okay, all right, I'm actually leaving the house tomorrow night. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to go on a bus. Ew. Laurie is Freaky Geek on Facebook, I think. So, yeah, it is very confusing, Talia. It's very confusing. All these, protecting identities and different names and stuff. So, Angel says, all the feels about people. People are gross. Yes, they are. Yes, people are gross. And it's just like I'm watching all these people who went to Vid Summit, which I had such the worst case of FOMO missing out on Vid Summit. But I'm seeing all these people that like while they didn't catch COVID from Vid Summit, it looks like they've caught COVID from traveling. And yeah, I'm just like, oh, that's something I didn't consider in all my I wish I was at Vid Summits. So yeah. Good night, Ruth. Sleep well. Yeah, we're good peoples here. Um, you couldn't hear any commentary or see who was leading or crashed out, just cars going past. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and you do see people at some of the games sometimes with radios and stuff, so they're getting the commentary as well. Um, yeah, face masks is gonna be the way to go for sure. Oh, what have I done there? Only one. Bye, Gamer Widows. Have an awesome day at Craft Group. But yeah, it is definitely something I just didn't consider. I don't know why I didn't consider it. I think if I had actually really been planning to travel for it, it would have been a consideration. But because I was just sort of at home moping about it, it was not part of the mope. So yeah, you know, the thing that you really, really want to go to is amazing and awesome and has no flaws. But maybe next year. Um, Russell says, I'm scheduled for 2 meetings in Washington in the next few months, but I'm still not going. Yeah, you've got bigger fish to fry, Russell. You've got concerns and you don't want to bring that crap home. You know, it's one of those things. You've got to make the decisions for yourself. You've got to decide what you're happy with risking and go from there. John says, I wouldn't want to go to DC because DC. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think if I made it to the US, like if I actually went over for something else, I'd have to do something else while I was there. Like I've gone all that way. I'd have to go somewhere else. So next year, Vid Summit is actually not in LA. They're moving it to Dallas. So I'm like, what do I want to see that's in Texas? And I'm like, so much. There's so many things I want to do in Texas. Most of it's in Austin though, which is hours away from Dallas. But, I could work out a way to go there. There's stuff I want to see, stuff I want to do. I'm sure I could find something in Dallas to see. I mean, if it's big enough for an international airport, I'm sure there's something to see there. Right? I don't know. I think I've got like Walker, Texas Rangers stuck in my head, like for my visuals of Dallas, but wasn't Texas Rangers like the original one filmed like back in the 90s? Like, do you think a city's changed in 30 years? Maybe. Um, yeah. Yeah, they'll have to make these decisions without you. Yeah. Well, that's the downside, isn't it? I decided to try a bit of honey in my tea today. I just felt like I needed a little boost. And I don't do sugar, so I thought I'll try honey. It's very nice. Licorice legs with honey is very good. I didn't put heaps in, I just put a little bit in, but it's definitely worth a try. Flora says, DC turned out to be not as bad as I thought, been there many times. Oh, that's good. Steph says she's only 4 hours from Dallas. Steph, if I ever make it that far, I will put it in the fun zone and see if we can organize like a meetup for like lunch or something. Like if I ever made it to the US, I would tell you guys to try and, meet you in real life for sure. Because I do try and plan my travel so that I've got a day on either side at least of not functions because I need rest time before dealing with traveling. These people that just like, okay, function's over, I've got the first flight out. I'm just like, oh, really? I can't think of anything worse than doing that. Yeah, I would absolutely do that, Steph. I don't know if I'm going to Dallas next year, but if I do, I will let you know. Okay, John. I mean, she'd probably know better places than I would to check out. And one thing I would have to do is I hear about all these amazing US yarn stores, and I would like to see one. We've got some pretty decent ones that have opened up around here locally now, which is cool. Yes, Steph says, I feel you on needing the rest days. Yeah. Yeah. It is definitely one of those things. Oh man, where is this courier? I want my courier to arrive because I want the box and I want to open it and I want my hat. I got a new hat coming. And I've been wearing my same Captain America cap for like 4 or 5 years. And while I've been very careful and looked after it, I would like to be able to choose. Do I want to wear Captain America or do I want to wear something else? So yeah. I can't wait. And I got a new t-shirt. I love a good t-shirt. I probably bought the t-shirt just to enter the competition, but I wanted the cap. But I probably wasn't going to buy the cap by itself because postage to Australia was stupid. But buying it with the shirt, like the price of the postage didn't increase with the shirt. So Kathy says it would take 17 hours to get to Dallas. Oh, Kathy, I'm sorry. Like I said, if I made it to the US, I would have to go somewhere else while I was there. So maybe I can find somewhere a bit closer to you. I don't know. It would depend. Time of the year and all that sort of stuff. I'd have to see. This is coming along so nicely. I'm really happy with it. John says it's a 6-hour flight for him. Gosh, it's a bit out of the way, isn't it? I did work out that that there is direct flights from Australia to Dallas. I mean, they're from Sydney, but they exist. So that takes, because I was like, oh, the second I heard that it would move to Dallas, I was just like, oh, I probably won't go. I don't want to have to change flights at LAX because, like, I've just heard so many horror stories, and I don't want that to be my first experience. Like, maybe the second experience, but not the first. Um, and so it's like, oh, that's going to be horrible. Um, yeah. So I can fly direct from Sydney to Dallas. So I was like, okay, I can do that. That's easier. Just, um, you would look good in a big old cowgirl hat. I don't know about that. We'll just have to see. I don't know. Does anyone look good in a big cowgirl hat? I don't know. Breckenridge is somewhere I now want to go. Another friend of mine told me about it, and that is where I would love to take our family on a holiday. That would be amazing. Um, so Kathy, that's driving, not flying. Jackie, did you have problems with LA? Like 2 problems or no problems? It sounds like Kathy is planning on driving. I wouldn't drive. I mean, I wouldn't drive that far. I just drive to Bendigo, which is further. The US is about the size of Australia, but with 13 times the population. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, Kathy is driving. Yep, not flying. Okay. That explains the differences. Yeah, I knew Australia, and yeah, 22 hours from Dallas to Sydney direct. Yep. I'm just looking. I'm not booking. Oh, Jackie had no problems with LAX. Yeah. Yeah. There's a ton of people that I'd love to catch up with in LA. So maybe on the way home, I could go Dallas, LA, and then, back to Australia. But I don't know. I don't know how I'd do it, honestly. As Kathy says, I don't like flying in a tin can with people so close to me. Yeah, it's not my favorite way to travel, but in saying that, I think I would much rather do 22 hours than on a boat. And then my options to get from Australia to the US. So either I can sail, which will take 11 billion years, and then that's if I can find someone that'll do it, versus flying. So, yeah. I would absolutely be meeting up with Coach Glitter in LA if I could. If she was available, I would just be like, "Tiffany, I'm gonna be in LA. Teach me of these skinny, spicy margaritas of which you speak." I'm not swimming, John. I'm not that good a swimmer. Um, Jackie says, actually, that's with one stop, no direct flight that I can see. Yeah, I found some stuff online. But yeah, I'd have to have a look. Like I said, I just had a quick glance. I did not. I was just like, okay, I can get from Australia to Dallas. So, and I'd much rather like stop at Hawaii or stop at like Singapore than have to stop at LAX, I think, for my first one. But I mean, the reality is it'll come down to money, right? Because it always does. Money and which airlines, because I'm fussy with airlines. Oh, look, someone's trying to ring me and my phone's gone suspected spam. So, like 14 guesses as to whether I'll ever answer or respond to that call. Get a travel agent with the amount of flights that are randomly getting cancelled. They are lifesavers. Yeah, I probably would, especially for a big trip like that. Yeah. Um, and also making sure you get really good travel insurance. Like the travel insurance included with your credit card doesn't cut it at the moment. because it just doesn't. You really need to make sure if you and I actually saw a really interesting thing on the news the other day, and it was some guy from some company. I can't remember who he was. He's probably a travel insurance company. But he was basically saying, look, if you can't afford travel insurance, you can't afford to travel. And I was just like, that's how I get travel insurance every time I travel because I'm that person who will end up in hospital somewhere, because I'll react to something. So I need to make sure I'm totally covered. So, we are near the end of this row and we're about to start our next color. Yeah, that's right. And the airlines are unreliable and I need top insurance for US because of the medical system. Exactly right. I'm just scrolling. Good insurance is absolutely critical. Yes, it is. I agree with you. Good morning, Nettie. That's right. I know what GM is. GM is good morning. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. There and there's people in Texas I'd have to see too. So, we'll see. It may not happen. Probably won't happen. But, I can dream, right? I can dream of these events I'd love to go and see and be a part of and meet some of the people that I'm like talking with online. And that's part of that's part of it with Vid Summit is like meeting some of the people for the first time and meeting some of them again, like some of them I've met before. So yeah, John's finished a square, everyone. That is awesome. Only 58 left. How many do you have to do? There was like a couple of hundred, wasn't it? Like this, are you talking about your weather blanket? Nettie says my daughter and her wife are about to land in Dubai on their way to Europe on a 2-week honeymoon. Nice. That sounds awesome. Okay, I am in the last repeat here. I'm just double checking. Then I do 2. No. One more here. And then 2. And then that one. And then 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, 1 for each day. Okay, so it's like 365 squares and you've only got 50 odd to go. That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, 378. Oh, and then 1 for each month. Okay, yep, I get it now. All right. This color is finished. Finito. So we've got a bit of scrap there. Bit of scrap. I'm just going to pop this back in its crate so Louis doesn't get it. And then I'll be back in a second. Alrighty, we're on to this is our third row for this live chat that we're starting, and we're only an hour into the chat. I think this is like the fastest we've gone. I think it's because I'm like, oh my god, I want to finish this color, and I want to start the next color. I think that's where my brain's at. It's like crochet faster, talk less, crochet faster. So if that's boring, I'm really sorry for the what appears to be 37 of. Oh, wait a second, not purple. I just cut the purple off. All right, I want to go from the middle, I think, from this dumpster fire. They're all bad. Both options are bad. No option is good. Where's the end of the yarn? Is that the middle? Yeah, that's the middle. Oh my gosh. Okay, we are going to get yarn bath. We are getting yarn bath. There will be yarn bath for sure. Okay. I get more done during chat than I do when I'm not in chat. I'm just so easily distracted. Okay. You said you wouldn't go from the middle again. Well, I lied. I prefer to go from the middle. I hate having to unwrap around the outside of the ball. Like there are things like, like you got to do with yarn bath and there's surprises and there's like meh, annoying, right? Like meh, annoying. Does that make sense to all of you? Okay, we are on to this row. Boo, 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 boo. Where's my little charty chart? Charlie chart. Oh, 180. There we go. New color. This is technically the 311th row of the blanket. 311 rows. This feels like so many rows. Like, does any blanket really need 311 rows? And that's not done yet. Oh, I can hear the rain. Rain. One and two. Yeah, I'm on the last chart, John. Yep. Last chart. Third last color. 311 rows out of 300 and how many? Hang on. Out of 351. So we're on the downhill run now. Bub says I go from the middle except for silk lace weight. Yeah, I don't blame you. Silk lace weight, nightmare. I mean, you're right, Freaky. You're right. That's what you get for aiming for the largest one. Yeah, Russell, they're really slow with their replays. They're notorious for it. They plan to have them out by a certain date and they're never out by that date. And like was it last year or the year before they had year before last, I think it was. There was oh no, it might have been a couple of years ago. They were supposed to have like live sessions. So you paid for the live session. It was the only way to get the replays later. But no one could log into the live sessions. They all crashed. So yeah, it is definitely trickier. So hang on, I've just got to work out where I'm up to. 1, 2, that. Then so 1, 2, 3s. Excellent. Makes it easy. Yeah, silk does. Like if you start pulling silk from the middle, and when it collapses on itself, what a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. Yeah. It is definitely one of those things that I do not do from the middle. I always go from the outside with silk. Yeah. So, something exciting happened, or it was exciting for me. Abby demanded to be taught to crochet again. They're very different pinks. This camera's not showing the colors very well. Here you go. What I'll do is I'll go big camera, but they are very different. So we're just gonna. There you go. I mean, they work together for sure. But they're very different. It's just this light's probably a little bright, and I didn't color balance properly because if I need to differentiate color, I have this camera, which is way better. I moved all the blanket now. I'm uncomfortable. Come back here. I watched my girls on Flight Tracker. Oh no, I thought that was Yarn Buff, but it's not. And it'll tell you when they've landed. Oh, that's awesome. That's so exciting for them too. Like that's a big trip. I look at people who take these big like European trips and stuff from Australia, and I'm just like, that is such a long flight. Yeah, I think it's like I got asked the other day. I'm like, they're like, what did you think of Thailand? I'm like, I've never been. And they're like, what do you mean you've never been? I'm like, no, I haven't been. I haven't flown that far. They're like, how far have you flown? And I'm like, New Zealand. That's it. I flew to New Zealand, North Island. That's all I've done. I went on a cruise that got me as far as where did it go to? It went to LeFou, Namia, and Port Vila. That's where the cruise went. And we couldn't get off at LeFou because our ship was outrunning a cyclone. So they didn't want to stop. So yeah. Yeah. It was definitely an interesting cruise. It was a very inexpensive cruise, but it made me get my passport for the first time. So oh, speaking of passports, my passport is still I got told it could be actually an extra couple of months in the wait to get my passport. So, because I did not opt for the nearly double the price for expedited. Um, oh, she said the Emirates seats were narrow. Really? Like I flew Emirates to go to New Zealand one time, and I found the seats to be much wider than like the Virgin seats in Australia. It could have been a difference in planes though, because the plane I went on had like an upstairs and downstairs. So yeah. Um, Francis says I haven't ever been out of the country. Once did a flight over Antarctica, but didn't land. Ah, if I'm flying, it's going to be for Antarctica. Fair enough. Um, I have relatives over in Germany. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? If you've got family somewhere, it gives you a bit more of a goal to go, and usually it means you've got somewhere to stay. So, not always, but sometimes. Um, so that's helpful too, because like, I'm looking at flights at the moment, right? And if the flights prices stay what they are and don't drop, I won't be able to go. Oh, hello, here's my late note, just listening while I drive home. Hello, Leanne. Um Did the plane have maids and butlers too with upstairs and downstairs? No, but it was the first flight that I ever went on that they gave me hot towels. I was, like, definitely out of my element. Everyone else was like, "Oh, yeah, thanks." I'm like, "Really?" Um, Linda says, "I'll most likely never travel that far again. It's expensive, and I'm not good at saving." Yeah, that's the thing. It's really expensive. Like, I'm looking at, you know, 2 to 3 grand just for flights. Like, that's not including anything else. And then when I hit the US, everything's in US dollars. So, like, the Australian dollar at the moment is just terrible. So, yeah. Francis says, "I was booked for a cruise in April 2020. It got cancelled, so I still have a Virgin passport." Oh, do you know what I find frustrating? When you have to go in to renew your passport, right? They actually cut your old passport up and they give it back to you, but it is no longer able to be used for ID, right? The catch is your passport's eligible to be used for ID for up to 2 years after it expiring, and now I'm gonna be without, like, that form of ID for could possibly be 6 months the way, I'm being told, while I wait for the new one to come. So I'm just like, "Dudes, I hope my license is enough," which it may possibly not be because of all this stuff going on. But yeah, it is frustration stations. Um The Australian dollar is plastic, it's not terrible. That's oh, very funny. I mean, you can tear it, just so you know. You can totally rip it up. It's hard, but you can do it. Australia got that slow in issuing passports in the last, like, basically 6 to 8 months. So, like, there's people who have holidays and things booked, and they're still waiting on passports. Like, honestly, I can't imagine booking anything knowing my passport either was about to expire or B, had expired. There's no way I'd pay money for something until I knew I had everything lined, all my little ducks lined up, right? It's because 'cause I'm such a nervous traveler. I'm that person who, like, everyone's like, "Oh, you don't need paper copies of anything," and yet I have the paper copy of everything. Um Yeah, so it's just there's just such a huge delay in passports. Not enough staff is the biggest issue, and apparently they're training new staff because they let off a lot of their staff during COVID because no one was getting their passports redone because no one was traveling because the borders were closed. And then all of us when the borders reopened and people started feeling confident to travel again, and they were allowed to travel because there's all sorts of restrictions on traveling still. They were finding that their passports were taking forever. And now, like, I heard back, earlier this week to add like an extra couple of months on what I was expecting it to be, and I was told 4 months when I put the paperwork in. So, my hope to travel in March may possibly not happen just because of my passport. So, we'll see. We'll see. Um Yeah, Angela, like, I'm with you. I definitely want to make sure that I have every piece of paper. I'm all what's standby? I don't understand what standby is. Um, yeah, we probably won't get the king's head on a note, but it'll happen on the coins as they start being minted after he is, um, after the ceremony. What's the ceremony? Inauguration? No, that's not the word. What's the word? There's a word for it, where he actually has the big ceremony that is all proper and legit. There's a word for it, and I can't think of it. Where's Melissa when we need her? Um, Linda says, "It makes me happy that I got mine done at the beginning of 2020." Look, mine only expired in April of this year, and so I wasn't even thinking about it. I thought I had 1 more year on mine, and then I went to go and do something, and coronation, thank you guys, coronation is the word I was looking for. Um, yeah, and I was looking for it for something, and then I looked at the date on it, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, okay." Oh, and the reason why they're saying it's gonna take an extra couple of months is because the new page that they print all your details on to put into the passport, the actual page itself is much harder to print, and they're having problems with that, and it is slowing everything down, and there's a lot more wastage apparently. Um, a standby is when you book a flight. Oh, hang on, it disappeared on me. Hang on. Um Standby is when in case someone's a no-show or cancels at the last minute, and you take a flight, whichever one they can get you on. Oh, okay. That would be too stressful for me. I need to be like, "This is my flight. This is my seat." Um, Kerry says that back in the day, I renewed my passport in 3 days, had to buy a plane ticket first, decided on Monday, left on the Thursday. Whoa, that is awesome. Can't do that now. Um, Even the express ones are taking a couple of months. We had a business class trip come up, which is why I got mine done. I had a business trip come up, except I didn't get to go on that either. Oh, the mint doesn't have to wait for the coronation. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, that's right. They don't know how to forge the new passports yet. Yeah, it's an R series, and they are a lot harder to do apparently. Oh, and the new ones they have a chip in it as well. Okay, that's even more explanatory. So, we'll see. I wonder if it gets you through customs faster because, like, that's annoying. Enigmata. Yeah, the queen is massive. I was just saying we're up to about row 311 out of 350, and it is enormous. I posted over um on the socials. I can't remember which and where. Um, a photo of us holding it up at retreat. It's well above my head. Um, where are we? Yeah. Are you're just taunting people for fun, John. Okay. As long as I know that's what's going on, I can ignore it. Well, we're citizens of Australia, but subjects of the crown. That's correct. Yes, this queen blanket's for me. There is no way this is going anywhere. I'm keeping it forever. It's taken me way too long. And, Freaky's right. I made the decision. This is my very first mosaic crochet. It was my first tinner pattern that wasn't the test to see if I could do mosaic crochet. And I chose a really big version. and not the easiest version either. I sort of chose the middle version. So, yeah, it was just one of those, like, I made these decisions. I would not make these same decisions again. Oh gosh, yeah. No. It's going to be too big for my queen size. It would fit on a king, I think. I think if I found a king size bed somewhere, I could totally fit it on. Um, but it is going to be well and truly big on my queen. Oh yeah, we worked out like it was October the year before last. Was that right? October 2020. I'm not going to block it. I'm like, it's not going to happen. It's just I'm going to wash it, and I'm going to dry it, but I'm not going to block it. I can't imagine blocking. I don't know what I would block it on. I don't have a room in my house big enough with floor space big enough. So, yeah, I don't know how I would do it. It would have to be folded up and blocked, which I don't like because things smell funny. They get musty when they don't dry out properly straight away. Um, John says, I have a king size bed, but shipping that thing would bankrupt several small countries. Yeah, it really would. It totally would. We'll block it on a football pitch. Yeah, I mean, I possibly could do that. I'd have to take it out. Actually, you know what? It could go out onto the I could block it out on the top paddock, which is just part of my backyard. We call it the top paddock. Um a blocking Russell is a process where you wash it and you pin it out to make sure that it's all straight and even and shaped correctly, and it helps all the stitches to settle nicely. Um It's totally, like if you're making lace, you absolutely have to block. And if you are making like individual squares that you're going to stitch together on a blanket, you should block them. That way they're all perfectly square before you stitch them on, things like that. It helps to make everything settle nicely, and you can manipulate and control the shapes. Um, yeah. Steph, what's the point of blocking a blanket? Look, I'm not gonna block this one, honestly. It'll get a wash and a dry. That's what it's gonna get. It's not gonna get a proper blocking. But like, if this was being gifted, I would be blocking it to make sure that it was square properly, and I would pin it out so that it was properly square. But as it is not a gift, I don't care. So, yeah. Angela says she's never blocked anything except for doilies. You're in the wrong room, Angela. Like I'm all about blocking. If you make it, it's not finished till you've sewn in the ends, you've blocked it, and you are done. It just makes everything sit better, especially for shawls and stuff like that. They just look so much nicer after they've been blocked. I bought blocking stuff for my weather blanket squares, but when I stitch them together, they kind of block each other. Look, that can also happen as well. But yeah, having everything blocked into the correct sizes just makes it so much easier to put them together. Um, Enigmata says, I buy my yarn in cones and I need to block for sure as it has spinning ons. Absolutely. If you're buying your yarn on cones, it has normally got a very fine layer of oils on it because it's designed to go through knitting machines and other equipment. So you totally need to wash that stuff properly. And if you're buying undyed yarn, you need to wash it before you use it. Otherwise, when it blooms, it could destroy what you're working on. So blocking isn't chucking it in the washing machine and throwing it on the clothesline for 3 days. No, it's not. That's washing it, which, you should legit do anyway. But no, that's not blocking it. You could block in sections. My grandma used to put up markers on the line for the bigger blankets. Yeah, you could. You could. But I generally don't make blankets that will be going to other people other than people that don't, that haven't paid. I don't sell blankets. If I was selling it, it would absolutely get blocked. There's no way anything would leave here without being blocked. Um, but I look forward to blocking though. It's like the final revelation, plumps up the garment and masks your mistakes. Yeah, it blooms your yarn. It settles all your stitches. You can control the shaping. There's so many reasons to block, honestly. Um, I did a before and after of a sweater I blocked, and it was beautiful after blocking. Absolutely. And it probably had nice crisp edges and good like everything is just would have sat just so much nicer. Like, yeah, blocking is important in yarn crafting, and this will be a hill that I die on. Because I know not everybody feels the same, and I know that there's people out there that feel if they wash something after they've made it, it's no longer new. And I'm just like, your smelly hands and body have been in it. It needs washing. It has to be washed. Um, love the magic that is blocking lace. I agree. I just think blocking lace and open stitches, they just look fantastic after they've been blocked. Yeah, I'm nearly up to the end of this row. Meh, 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 meh. Should we try for a fourth row? Oh, we're totally trying for a fourth row. I just looked at the time. We are totally getting a fourth row in. Oh, Sally, that grr. That's all I'm gonna say. Where's the poke the bear emoji? We need to poke the bear emoji. I'm gonna talk to Chopper and see if he can make us a bear emoji for channel members. Enigmata says, I feel weird wearing something without blocking. You just don't know where the yarn has been. Oh, absolutely. It's like I don't wear new clothes until they've been washed. Like I'll try them on, but I'll get them off as fast as I can. I don't wear them until they've been washed. John says, yeah, I was desperate to finish my queen so I could wash it after a year of working on it. It was getting ripe. Yeah. And like I feel the same about this. Like it's not like putrid or anything like that, but it's definitely I can smell it. Like it definitely has an odor. Um it doesn't help that Louis sits on it whenever I'm not looking. The little booger. Um wouldn't handmade things need blocking after each washing? Yeah. Yep. And you can do that, like, you don't have to pin it out, but you can flatten it out and make it, like, reshape it, which is like when you wash jumpers, you're supposed to wash them and dry them flat for that exact reason. Um, but yeah, like, yes is the answer to that. You are supposed to do that. Heaps of people don't, but you are supposed to. Doesn't it start out as a smelly sheep? Anyway, no, well, this is acrylic, so this is no sheep. This is petrochemicals. This is a tire factory. This is a tire factory, and there is no sheep smelling here. But yeah, you're right. When it comes to like pure walls, that's definitely an issue. Get over there. Okay. Alrighty. Back to the people. Come on. And where did you go? There it is. No, that's not it. There it is. You guys can just get out of my way. Bloop. Okay. Wool is not as dirty as people think. I think we've been brainwashed into everything 5 times in boiling water. With real wool, you don't have to wash after each. Yeah, absolutely. Real wool doesn't need to be like, as long as you haven't done anything gross in it, um, it should only need to be washed once a season. So, you know, are you going to stock the Forte set? No, I missed out. Like you had to pre-order them, and I missed out on the pre-order. So yeah, I'm sorry. You'll need to check for other dealers. But every dealer who's got them had to pre-order them, so they've probably already got people lined up for them. But yeah. My wool blanket, on the other hand, I love the smell. Yeah, like look, I think the lanolin smell is lovely. I don't think it's a bad smell. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I just think and I kind of agree with who was it that said it before? Yeah, Enigmata said it before that we're a little bit brainwashed. Absolutely. I think we are. In regards to, what to accept as okay and what is not. Um There we go. I'm like looking at that like, should that be left like that? I don't know, but that's what the pattern says. I'm like, I hoping I didn't bodge up the row beforehand. I'm sure I'll find out soon. Wash when it's smelly. Next body clothes will need washing more often. Yeah, exactly right. Like if you're wearing it directly on your skin, it'll probably need washing more often. If you are wearing it over the top of something else, especially like if you've got like a shirt on that covers like your armpits and the other areas that get particularly smelly, then you don't need to wash it as often. I mean, if you're working out in it or something, yeah, sure, that'll need a wash because that's gross. But if you're just wearing it, yeah, like Francis says, my woolly jumpers only get washed once a season, for sure. Leanne says, I had a good giggle as the blocking combo has come up. Yes, sorry, Leanne. You know how I feel. How many balls of yarn have you? I don't even know. Do I have kilos of yarn in there? No, look, I have a crate. I have like a little, cube from my IKEA shelves that I stored all the yarn in. And I've been pulling it out as I've needed. I did have to order in more of the purple, and so I ordered 2 of the 500-gram balls. But other than that, it was the initial order, which was 2 balls of each color. How many colors? I think it was 11 colors. Let me look. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 colors. I got 200-gram balls, 2 times 100-gram balls times 11. So 22 balls. Plus I got a 10 pack of the purple. So that's 32 balls. Plus I got an extra kilo of the purple. So that's another 10 balls. So 42 balls of yarn so far. Not huge amounts of wastage, which is great. But we'll see. We'll see how we go when we get to the end. We'll see. Enigmata, seriously, it's been a multi-year project for me. Jen Deal, who's in the chat, has made like 4 of them plus a million other blankets. Everybody else got theirs knocked over in a couple of months. I just didn't. Like, don't take how long it's taking based off what I'm doing. Don't let it put you off. It's just how long it's taken me to do it. I made some decisions to make it bigger, and then it went into a naughty corner for 6 months, and then, like lots of different reasons. So, and then I haven't had as much crafting time, so it's really 3 rows maybe a week of getting done for the last few months. Today we're working on a 4th row, which is just, unheard of. And I actually did 1 row just before the live stream. So, yeah. So yeah, please don't take how long it's taken me to do it as an indication on how long it will take to do it. Sally hasn't finished hers, but Sally, you haven't been working on yours either. So, anyone who's in the chat who has made one, approximately how long did it take you? John's another one who added stuff to his. Freaky's not yet collected enough yarn. Tell you what, I like this tea with the honey in it. I have to say, I'm pretty surprised. I don't normally sweeten my tea, but my throat was a bit dry, so I wanted something in there to help with that. Honey does the job. I mean, that's true. It wasn't the naughty corner. It was the summer corner, wasn't it? It's just because it was too hot to work on. And I think that's the thing is I'm really trying to get this done before the heat of our summer kicks in. Otherwise, it's going to go back in the naughty corner because it's just too big to work on in like the sweaty heat. And I don't have any aircon in this room. So yeah. John says I have a Tequila Sunrise Queen kit I've never even unpacked. The Tequila Sunrise colorway is what inspired my color choices. I really love the look of it, but I didn't want to pay the big pack kit price, so I kind of just jimmied together what I needed and grabbed all the Knit Picks Brava while it was on sale, and ended up getting. I got the initial order of the 10 balls of purple and then all the colors, and I got those for about $2.70 a ball. And then they were more like $5 something a ball when I went to buy the extra purple. I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying not to. Uh, Leanne's is still going. She's near halfway. But you've also made other blankets in the meantime as well. Well, I mean that's true. I don't want to encourage you guys, evil doers in the chat, evil doers. Um, yeah, she's gonna say. Freaky's giving me a lot of practice at like reading the comments before I actually say them out loud. Freaky has made it so that's a skill I've had to learn, and that's an awesome skill to have if you're a live streamer. So thanks, Freaky. Oh my goodness. Okay. I wonder if we can get this fourth row done. I reckon we can. We being me. I'm doing all the work. You guys are just keeping me company, right? Like, is anyone like you guys can come over and crochet on it for me for a while if you want. I don't want Abby crocheting on this blanket yet because she's a bit tight so far. She's pretty, grip heavy with the old hook. My carpal tunnel's been playing up, and I can only get a few rows in now and then before it starts. Oh, Sally, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's got to be frustrating. Put that in your resume. Yeah, I mean, he trains live streamers to cope with trolls. That's so fun. That is so fun. Goodness me, where are we at? There's 42 people here in the chat. What are you all working on in the chat? Let me know. Like, I'm working on my queen still forever. I don't know what my existence will be once the queen's finished. It would be interesting if I was looking for work, yeah. What is an image of that Talia has put in? Jen's working on work. Francis is spinning. Freaky's spinning flax. Molly, I don't even know yet, honestly. I'm gonna wait and see. I will weigh it. If it can fit into my 8-kilo washer, I'll be happy. If it cannot, I'm gonna have to go to the laundromat and use one of the big industrial washers. But it has to get washed. Like, not washing it, not an option. Leslie's still working on her vertices shawl. Bub's having a coffee. Had to switch. Linda switch from crocheting to knitting. Flora Living's working on some requesting documents and watching his 2 shorts take off. That is awesome. Kathy's doing a 6-day kid blanket and knit. Do those 6-day blankets, they actually get done in 6 days? Like, is that legit? Or is it like, actually, Chantelle, for you to be more like 6 years? That kind of thing. Molly's still in a Hayfield Caber jumper. Knit Spin Girl's doing socks. Stacey's nearly done her stitch sampler. Yes. Working whilst listening. Thank you. Stash busting blanket. Artog is working on squares. He has 7 to go. Is that why he's not allowed in the chat? Because if he chats, he doesn't crochet as fast. Is that what's going on there, Van for you? The 6 days will make you like a crib size. Okay. So, all right, I get it. Okay. Because I think the smallest blanket I like to do is like 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters, because that's a really good like knee rug size for the couch for me, because like I'm 1.6 something meters tall, so it's nearly as long as me, and I'm also quite wide, so I like a wide blanket. So yeah, I find it's just a really good size for the couch. Bub says resting today. West knits should drop today. Oh, Christina is not working on anything, just holding my bubba while she sleeps. What are you doing what are you going to do with the blanket-shaped hole in your life once you're done? I don't know. I probably could finish the other blanket that I haven't really worked on much, um, which is, that Fusion Squares blanket. I've just about got all the squares ready to stitch together. So they're just not quite ready yet, but I've got about 10 more to do before they're ready. So, um, lots going on. You guys are working on heaps. Um, yeah, you're right, Freaky. Some people call their whole place they live a crib. Yep. Artsong is watching from the Xbox, resting his feet, recovering from a pedicure torture. Oh my gosh, really? Like, ow, that like I mean, I love pedicures, but we obviously have a different kind of pedicure. Mine's like, to make things pretty. That one sounds a little bit more drastic. Yeah, his patterns, Westnitz patterns are definitely out there. And I love that about them. Like I can't see me making one for me because I'm not out there like that. But I love that they exist because it just makes knitting fun. So, John's gonna make a granny square skull blanket next. Nice. Saw this really cute photo. I can't remember where I saw it. It's on Facebook somewhere. Um, and it is a corner to corner squares that get made into a blanket. And they did them in this really bright rainbow. And I was just like, whew, that looked good. Um, but I think I would like to finish this large project and then work on something small and with no guilt, like zero guilt, small project work. That's what I'd like to do. Um, yeah, that's what I'd like to do. The sugar skulls. That would be cool. Oh, red heart acrylic. Really, John? Are you just getting rid of it for some reason? Or are you one of these people that actually like it? Work on a headband. Yeah, that sounds like not a bad idea. Um, do you know, I used to have a caliometry, which is this knitted headband that I used to love so much. And then my aunt loved it, and I love my aunt, and she wanted it, so I let her have it. And I never made myself another one. And I should legit make myself another one. And it's a knitted thing, and it's like a short rose thing. It's really nice, super squish. John says, "I like it. It's cheap, and I'm poor." Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's how I feel about Brava. It's cheap and I get good bang for my buck and it feels nice. It does have limited colors. That's my one issue with Brava is it is limited colors. Now I have a kit coming of yarn for Melissa's ordered for me. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think it might have been a pre-order. It could be months away. I have no idea. Melissa would know. Because we saved postage and ordered them together. Um, but that is of the special DK, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, that would be awesome. I think it's caliometry. Hang on, I'm just gonna look it up. Hopefully the internet doesn't crash. Okay, let's go. Um, hmm. Is this it? There it is. Okay. I might have been saying the word wrong. Here we go. It's in the chat. Here you go. That's the one I made. I loved it. I loved it, and I loved it. And it's not even a big project, and it works for short hair and long hair and looks amazing in all different yarns. I just loved it. Um, it's no, it's not non-shellac. It's not non-shellac. It was a short row. I like doing them as you learn something new every time, and you can throw them on the back of the lounge chair to wrap up in the cool months. Yes. Um, So, yeah, there's a lot of yeah, it's a really nice and that was probably I think, like, that was back right at the beginning of my knitting journey, and I think that was my first go at short rows, and it made me realize, "Okay, cool, I can do this." So, yeah, it was just nice. I just liked it. And you can use, like, whatever yarn. It doesn't even have to be plain. It could be like, the speckly ones look better. Knit Spin Girls was thinking of a different yeah, I think I was saying the word wrong. Um, yeah, but I always think of it as caliometry, but it's probably something else. I don't know. Oh my gosh. My wife's favorites were Christmas stockings and mittens until she got into applique, no knitting or crochet since. I like applique. Applique is a lot of fun. There is an applique designer that I absolutely love. So quirky, SCW quirky, and her stuff is bright and colorful and so much fun. I love it. Um, oops, bang. Oh, Angela's starting to learn Tunisian crochet. That sounds fun. I picked up Annie's Attic had some books with, like, Tunisian crochet and then, more like, another 101 Tunisian crochet stitches, and I've got both of them, and they're just such great books. Caroline is learning to knit socks using magic loop. That is awesome. I'm doing some mittens, which are 2 at a time magic loop. Um, um My hair's Fiberific, your hair's probably too short now, but there's a lace hair accessory I've been wanting to make that looks pretty quick. Oh, that sounds cool. Pop it in the fun zone. Oh, I've got like an itchy nose. Sorry, guys. Yeah, pop it in the fun zone so we can all have a look. If you're willing to share, that is. Um, yeah. My hair grows back really fast. It's actually grown tons since my haircut. I have to put product in it now to stop it from standing on end like a, you know, Mimbari. No, not a Mimbari. What am I thinking of? Uh, I can't think of the name. Oh, it's already done. Thank you. Yeah, um, uh, Delenza Mimbari, Ambassador Malari is from, but it's Malari hair is what I was thinking of. Alfalfa, yeah. No, I wish it was just one hair at the back. That'd be awesome. But no, I wake up in the morning and I have to battle with the old gravity. Bub says I used to do the Mystery Lace Club and it to take me out of my comfort zone. Now I do the West Knits. Well, I'm glad you found a replacement because I felt horrible canceling the Mystery Lace Club because I love doing it. Um, but yeah, because it was just like so much fun, and it was like I was able to like choose some really amazing patterns and then dye yarn to make them work. Centauri, thank you, John. My brain today is not awesome. I'm a bit tired. I think I didn't sleep as awesome as I probably could have because every time I moved, my body went, "Hello, you're not planning on getting up, are you?" Because everything hurt after yesterday. Oh my gosh. Um, yes. Look at this. It's looking so good. Um, Nettie says that's why I have long hair. Mine grows too fast. Cannot afford the hairdresser costs. Yeah, I went and got a quote for a new color and dye. I'm like, won't be using this hairdresser. It was like $300 to dye my hair. Like, have you seen how short my hair is? Like, really? So I'm like, yeah, no, I gotta find somewhere else now. It'll be fun. I'll find somewhere. But my old hairdresser, it looks like she might be starting up working from home. So I'm like, oh, should I just go back or should I just bite the bullet and just find somewhere new? I don't know. Oh, John. John, John, John. I don't even know what to say. For a start, no, I'm not even going there. DIY, says Sally. Yeah, but I like foils. I like to be able to have some like color play. If I was just going a solid color, I don't know if hairdressers call it they call it an all over color, not solid. I'd like semi solid, please, with variegation. Yeah. Yep. Goodness me. We are nearly at the end of row 4. Can you believe it? I cannot. I am so chuffed. Which is technically 5 rows for today. Ha ha ha. Sally's poking the bear. Not Sally, Talia. Talia is poking the bear. Oh my gosh, there's a bear head. That is awesome. Stacy, congratulations on finishing your sampler. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Oh, finishing something just must feel amazing. Sally said, I was told by my hairdresser to embrace the grey. My hairdressers have said not to yet because I'm only grey on the top. I'm not grey at the back. So it would look weird. Once I'm grey all over there, they're like, embrace the grey. But I'm not grey all over yet. Just enough to be annoying. All right. We are at the end of this row. Let me just double check I've been doing it right at the end here. Yes, I have. Aren't I awesome? All right. I'm not going to start another row because I don't have a big turnaround between things today. All right. I got to mark off where we're up to. I'll bring up the big camera. I can't use that. I've got to use this. Hang on. There we go. You can see the colors are better here. There you go. Whole new row. I was charged $25 for a trim, so I asked for a good length chopped off, and so that was $45. That was classed as a style, even though it was exactly the same thing. Yeah, hairdressers are you got to be real clear up front to get your quote right. Okay, we've changed color, and we did the next one. So we're up to row 185 out of 300. No, we're up to 312 out of 351. Oh my goodness! I don't even know what to say about that. I'm pretty darn excited. Pretty darn excited. All right, I'm just gonna move this guy over to the chair. He's very big. There we go. Dumped. Sally says I get charged $50 and my hair is short already. Yeah. Haircuts are expensive. That's all I can say. It's one of those things though, like I can't do it myself. I have to pay the professionals to do it. So, gosh, you're moving the blanket. The temperature just dropped at my table. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a bit cold. I recently went and had a cut from a long to a bob. Everyone is commenting on the color. It's the same color. I love that. I love it. That's so good. That is so good. Oh my gosh. I brought a set of electric clippers 30 years ago, spent $100, haven't paid for a haircut since. Well, I mean, it's because you're a dude. You can just do the all over clipper thing. I think if I did that, there would be comments. People would be like, what do you do that for? I got fluff up at my nose. I do not like it. So we've got this much left of that pink. It might be a row, might not be, but I got a whole nother ball. We have a retired hairdresser next door, comes over and does this for $10. Ah, that's nice. That is awesome. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. And this is the thing. I've been spoilt by my old hairdresser. Like her prices were ridiculously cheap. And we knew that going in. And then she kept her prices. So basically I was getting like $100 cut and colors that everywhere else was quoting me $250 for. Like it was ridiculous. And now it's like I want cut and colors now that she's retired, and I'm like, I don't want to spend $250. And then I didn't. I went to somewhere local that was inexpensive as well, and they were trash. They wrecked my hair. So now I'm like trying to repair my hair, trying to get it to grow back out again and fix it up. And now I'm just gonna have to pay the money. If I want my hair done, I'm gonna pay the money. Um, Sue says, a hairdresser friend is teaching me to cut my husband's hair. Only a week between a bad haircut and a good haircut. It could be 2 weeks. It was 2 to 3 weeks to try and grow out enough of my hair so that I could get it fixed. Um, Leanne says 215 last time I went. That to me was outrageous. Hey, I'm not a high maintenance type of person. I was thinking in my head, it's just how much they're charging for hair dyeing. And you've got really long hair, Leanne. Like that's the thing. Your hair is really long. Tim goes and gets his hair cut for like $25 or something like that. But like I can't get it cut for 25 because mine's all style cut now because it's short. I don't get a trim anymore. It's all classed as style cut. But I needed a change. I needed the change, and I don't know if I'm gonna like. I'll grow it back. I always do, but I'm gonna get it cut in again. I think I'm gonna go, back like, I'm gonna try and get what I wanted in the first place, but I've got to let it grow back out again. Um, Linda, this is the comment. On one hand, expensive. On other hand, that's a skill that they should get paid for. Yes, a good hairdresser deserves the money they get paid because we all know in Australia, hairdresser apprentices are paid squat. And they're treated fairly badly for the most part. They're expected to work really long hours. They get paid less than Abby gets paid at Woolies. And I know they're learning a skill, they're learning a trade, but they still have rent to pay. They've still got to get to work. I think that I think that if you're an apprentice, then you should get enough to eat. Okay? You should be able to afford to travel to work and eat, right? Sue says products are expensive too, shampoo, dye, etc. Yeah, they are. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's the thing. Tali says, yep, they've done the training, the study, they bought the gear. Exactly right. Some of them run the business and pay the rents, which we all know the rents have just gone through the roof. Exactly, Enigmata. As much as we want to get things for cheap, everything should make a living wage, and we should respect the skill that goes into that line of work. Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing. Like, you know what? Like, they're expensive, right? They're expensive. That doesn't mean they're not worth what they're charging. It's definitely, you know, it's definitely one of those things where it's just like they may be out of my budget. That doesn't mean they don't deserve what they're charging. Um, uh, I'm going to upset people, but if I wanted to have my hair styled, I would have it done by a male stylist. Sometimes it depends. Male or female, doesn't matter to me. It's like where they've learned and who they've done, and let me see your other haircuts. Yeah, Sally, I can imagine you would not want them washing your hair, like especially with your ears how they are. Talia says that there's a salon down the road. One lady runs the whole thing. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Think of it as a therapy session. Oh my gosh. I just sort of sit there listening, really, like, especially when there's heaps of other people around. Um, yeah, this is the thing. It's not so much about what they're charging, it's what you can afford. That's right. And we have to make these decisions based off our own experiences, our own incomes, our own willingness to spend on what we want to do. Like, Abby wants all these fancy haircuts, and when I tell her it's going to cost $300 or $400 because she's got very long, thick hair, she's like, "No, well, I don't want to pay that." And it's like, "But that's how much it's going to cost. So you can either choose something else or you can pay that. They're your choices." And she has a choice that you can choose to pay it or not choose to pay it. I just really hate it when you pay it and then you get a trash job. So yeah, it's one of that's what annoys me is when you've paid all the money, expecting the expertise, expecting the skills, and then you don't get it. Not usually. It hasn't happened except for the last time, which again I did not pay like top dollar. Um, Oh, Leanne, I always get a quote first. I always ask for a full quote. I go in there, I say, I want this, 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 and this. How much is that going to cost? And they go, oh, it'll be around. I'm like, no, I need a good ballpark. Like, I need to know because I can't afford for you to be like, well, I had to add on this and this and this. I need to know because my bank card, I'm not gonna swipe it. It's that simple. If you bump it up way more than what I was expecting, I'll just be like, mate, no. But I always get a good quote. There's a place at the Hyperdome that they actually write down their quote and you agree to it before you get started. And they will reduce it if they don't end up needing to do as much stuff, but they don't normally put it up. So I like that. My mother wouldn't be impressed with me. She was a hairdresser. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Like it's yes, it's like hand-dyed yarn. It's exactly like hand-dyed yarn. It's a lot more work than people realize. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Um, oh, John, that's gotta be frustrating. Oh. See, I have super fine hair and I had a lot of it, but my problem was that I couldn't keep a hair comb in it. It would just slide straight out. Like so knots and stuff, I can just finger comb my hair and I don't get knots that much. Maybe when I was younger, when it was, I don't know, I don't remember. My mum would just like, I had very long hair, so she would brush it fast. I just remember it felt like there were knots. Um, yeah. Oh, Leanne, we're gonna have food talk now, baby. How can we go to almost a bye-bye time without no food talk? Well, I don't know what I'm gonna have for lunch. I've got a really short, quick turnaround before my next meeting. So I I don't know. I'll find something. I will definitely eat something. Oh, I know what I'm gonna have. That's right. I had some dinner leftovers. I put them in the fridge last night. Yep, Leanne said food. Yeah. Move on. What? Huh? Yeah. It's worth eating. Don't talk food because I'm hungry and I have no food. That's worth eating. Sally, you could make up spicy noodles. Do you have any 2-minute noodles? Like, well, all you gotta do is in a fry pan, a little bit of oil, like start the noodles, put them in the cup, whatever, get them softening up, wherever it is that you normally do that. Then a fry pan, a little bit of garlic. If you've got ginger, put in a little bit of ginger, a little shake of some Chinese five spice, a little shake of chili powder. Let that just sort of, fragrance the oil. Then I throw in like whatever veg I've got, like that's nearly dead in the fridge. So beans, peas, like carrot, broccoli, like whatever veg you've got. I even put in like sweet potato, like just whatever. And sort of cook that off a bit, then throw your noodles on it and shoot it over and tip it in a bowl. Eat it. Yum, delicious, good. It's a really fast one, and it's fun. Do you have rain and thunder locals? It's pouring here. I had some rain just before, no thunder or lightning though. Um, I want someone to bring me food. Me too. Oh my gosh, pork shoulder. That sounds amazing, Angela. Corey didn't bring any bread home. I don't eat bread anyway, so that's not a biggie for me. Chicken burrito for dinner. Oh, that sounds amazing. I love burritos. Yeah, chuck some hot chips in the air fryer. Do it. Go on. I had a poorly cooked pizza here and I cooked it for as long as the last one, but somehow it was not cooked right. Oh, that's frustrating. That's so frustrating. I'm off to pick up my click and collect order from Coles. Oh, and you have mushrooms. Oh, does that mean that your man is not home for a meal? Because then you get to have mushrooms. Caffeinated Crafters is on tonight. That's right. If you are local in the Brisbane-ish region of Queensland, Caffeinated Crafters is meeting up at IKEA at Logan from around sort of 6-ish. Get there whatever time you want, but I won't get there till a little late tonight because I have to wait until Tim gets home with the car because Abby has my car today because she is working also. But yeah, I'll be there. I'll pop in. And yeah, Caffeinated Crafters is go. But it is time to say goodbye, everybody. It is midday here, and it's time for me to have some food. And I'll catch you all next time, next week. Be awesome, and I'll see you in the fun zone. Bye now.